John chapter 2 verse 1. On the third day there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Right, so here we continue with this concept of the counting. So need to remind you again that the Bible wasn't written in chapter and verses. Okay, so in the previous section, or what we call chapter 1, we've seen as well this, and the next day he went to this, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Okay, and now here on the third day it's mentioned, and they're on the third day at the wedding, and Jesus' mother, Mary in other words, was there. Her name is not given. That's the other thing, understandably, of the Gospel of John. The birth story is not told, like in the Gospel of Mark as well. It's only in Luke and Matthew that you get the birth story. She's at this stage even a name. She's not even named. She's just the mother of Jesus. That she was there at this celebration, at this wedding. Okay, verse 2. Jesus also was invited to the wedding with his disciples. So whose wedding it was, that's not important. It must have been, understandably someone they knew. The mother was invited. And so because of her as well, Jesus was invited, and then the disciples as well. So it's a little bit unlike kind of weddings today, well, at least in the western part of the world, where, well, not only in the western part of the world, but you kind of don't invite too many people because it can be very expensive, and except if you have a lot of money. Otherwise you can't invite too many people. But in more social kind of structures and certain cultures in the world still today, like in Georgia, for example, the weddings are a big story. It's a week celebration, and people just come and go and come and go. Now this would have been something a little bit more like this kind of wedding. When verse 3, when the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." Okay, so no more wine, and then we don't know how Mary found out. Was she responsible for this or not? No idea. Okay, so yes, verse 3. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." Right. So how she knew about this? Was she the one kind of responsible, organizing things here a little bit, that she now knew, or she, because of her status towards those getting married, led them to inform her about? But that's not the important point. The important point is whom she informed. Okay, and she informed Jesus and telling him there's no wine. Verse 4, and Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour is not yet come." So, yeah, and I've mentioned this as well before. How did it say it? It say, "Woman, what does that have to me? My hour has not yet come." What did it say? "Woman, what does that have to do with me?" Right? I mean, again, we don't know, because it's not written in the verse, like, this is the way he spoke. He spoke bombastically, or he spoke sarcastically, or he spoke laughingly, or he spoke inquisitively. I mean, we don't know it, right? Again, except if the biblical authors, it might have made life a little bit easier, but man, then the Bible would have not been only just over 1,000 pages, but a lot more, which I personally wouldn't have minded, but Christians can't even read 1,000 pages of the Bible, what to speak if it was a lot more. I mean, man, just imagine. Anyhow, so this was not, he was not speaking, at least we know, Jesus never broke the law. So he could not have spoken here with disdain or sarcastically or any other way. He could not have spoken down on her here, because that would have been him not honoring his mother. In this case, his father seemingly already dead. We don't know exactly when he died. So that clearly would have not been possible. And since he didn't say so, he didn't. So this is not said in a dishonoring way. So the word "woman" here is not dishonoring the way he said. They haven't, even John haven't, they just, it's the mother of Jesus, the mother of Jesus. So in that same, he's not putting the focus here on Mary, right? the focus is not on Mary, the focus is on Jesus, because this is his first miracle. So he is the focus of this. So therefore she is not named. Therefore he is speaking in such a way. It's so there. This explains pretty much simply why he said what he said. The other thing that's is very important here is that he's speaking, my hour has not yet come. Which hour is he speaking about? So he's going to speak a lot about, in the Gospel of John, a lot about it. My hour has not yet come. My hour has not yet come. And lo and behold, just before his death, he's going to say, the hour has come. Okay, so that is as well a very important theme in the Gospel that goes through it. So for that reason, this is as well what he's speaking about. So it's like this is hour of glorification, actually, it's ultimately his death, is not yet come. So, but that does not imply that he's not going to do the miracle. He didn't say, oh, I'm not going to do this, and then he does it, or he did it, and so he lied to her, or anything like that. This is not implied here, right? What he's saying, that specific thing is not ready yet. Okay, so this is kind of not, but all of these things ultimately, all these things he's going to do, these signs, is going to lead up ultimately to that hour. So that hour, so he's I think trying to tell her that, so his death is not near, right? That hour of his death. And but these things all will lead up to ultimately that hour to come. Okay, so this is therefore not a question of, okay, I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to die tomorrow. I mean, he did lots of miracles. He's going to do miracles, even though he's not going to die tomorrow. But he's trying to get as well a message over to her that, you know what, you're asking me for a miracle here, and the moment I do that miracle, I'm going to attract attention. And attracting attention, it's going to be bad. It's going to end bad for me. It's going to end in my death. Is it really what you want? Maybe, you know, that kind of idea. So I think there's a lot being said here by Jesus. So he's not saying, again, he's not saying I'm not going to do it. He's just plain saying that you need to think carefully here, because when I start doing these things, it's going to lead to that hour. All of these things will build up towards that.